All is well, all is good. I'm Chalie Numbas, the Globe Stroller. I've been everywhere in all this hood. Listen, this show, I say this every show, but it's always a special show for me. And this one is a special show for me. And I pulled this one out of the air because I called her a week before it, and then she said, I will do it. I said, oh my gosh. This is my friend, my sister, Yasu. Hi, honey.
Welcome.
Peace and sound, greetings and salutations.
Yes, we hear you in the back cooking. Listen, when I say there's texture and like music, me and Sticks just got through talking about this. You miss Sticks. Sticks just
I saw him, but I didn't get to talk to him. That's my boy.
Yeah. There's texture in this voice that you're hearing. Yasu, where did that start for you?
Well, music is in our family. So I grew up with a family of music. My siblings were already 15, 20 years older than I was, already immersed in the arts and creativity. Growing up listening to popping in 8 tracks and 45s and LPs in the basement of mom and dad's house out there in good old Point Place, Toledo.
Yeah, right.
And listening to people like my cousin Isaac Hayes. He's that's my people.
Okay, so you just threw that on us. So no, don't let's skip. Let's not skip over that. Isaac Hayes is your cousin?
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Well, my father was born in Alamo, Tennessee, so the family that's been raised down there was into music and everything. So I have cousins who are into production, promotions, and who actually still play in bands. Like the guitar, or as my daddy would call it, the guitar.
Right, the guitar.
The banjo and some of the country stuff that they don't know that we really know about. But that's where my roots are. It's from Tennessee.
They don't know that we really know about.
They don't know that we know. And so music has been all around me. Music and arts, performance, theater, everything because of my parents, my siblings, and my family.
Right.
Yeah, so I was born into it.
Right, which helps, and now it makes sense. Now that all makes sense for me. So, before you came up, so were you? How long were you in New Orleans?
When I lived in New Orleans, I lived there about 7 years after high school.
Okay.
So I got to experience some different culture there for sure.
Yeah.
But it didn't really like click or fuse into my life until after I left.
Right.
And then I began to remember. So the first album that I did, which you and Pell, OPM, shout out to OPM.
Talk about it.
Music Werx. When I came back, that whole album was about my experience in New Orleans.
Oh, and it just flowed out too.
And it needed to. It was a lot to tell. I had a lot of stories to share with that album, and the only way that I could do that was to sing my story, to sing my experience. And because of you all and my husband who introduced me to you all, which I would have never been able to. That would have never come out to fruition had it not been for all of you. So that was the origin of actually like recording and things like that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
We was.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
about to talk my what? Didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, you were. I always wanted to record. However, again, I've been around music all of my life, so a lot of the musicians, those who have now gone on down like to Georgia and California and different places like that, who have they're going on producing and touring with other artists and things like that. I worked with them a lot, but then there's also a group of musicians that were very gifted and talented, but there were certain things that I was unwilling to do in order to have an album.
Right.
So because of that and my standards and my boundaries, I never had produced an album until I met you all. So there was a lot of music and actually a whole genre of music that just sat because I wasn't able to properly and appropriately work with those producers or artists and things like that, then I wasn't going to be able to,
the politics.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that me and Simon Phoenix, that's one thing that we prided ourselves on. Like, it's not political with us. It's love. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think that's why that project, to me, was like one of my favorite things to do. This is crazy because now knowing that, you came in and you seem like you had been doing this a while. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like you had been doing. Me and Pell would talk about it when she leave. Like, man, this is we really, because you know we hands-on producers, so we have to do this, and we got to call Vatila and say how does it sound, but you had it.
Oh, thank you.
You had it, so that it's an eye opener for me, man. And speaking of that album, me and Pell been talking about that album. It's called the Imitation of Life. Mm-hmm. We got to take some songs off of there and redo it because some of the world haven't heard it.
That's true. That is very true, and I definitely had thought about doing a reboot or an acoustic versions. I had a lot of visions in my mind about what I wanted to do with that album. You know, I missed the anniversaries of it all, but it's never too late because the music is in me,
it's
and
timeless.
it's timeless because it's my story. And it's always going to be who I am. So that is, where I got my start in that.
Listen, and I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you this, too, because I didn't like the sound of the album. I thought we could have did better on our part. You know what I mean? As far as the mixing and things like that. Now, and it's because of hindsight. You know what I mean? Like, when you look back, I feel like me and Pell really could have tapped in with other producers like Tub and Black Smurf, the people who made it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But the secret is that what was actually published was not the proper master.
Thank you.
That was not the correct one. And so because I had them where I also wanted the transitions of the songs to go into the next. And so the master that you all had done was not the one that was submitted. So, and unfortunately I don't have the old ones, but I know the difference of the quality.
Oh, that's okay. We got technology now. We
do. But even before that, like I said, I don't know a lot about recording or anything because I haven't been in the studio. Right. I'm not a part of studio life or any of that kind of thing. However, there's things that I remember that you can make things crisp and clear without all the extra buttons of what people use now to quickly generate. They push a button that says master and mix. Whereas you all went in analog and you did things manually, hand by hand. And there's a difference. You can tell the difference. I can listen to music and see, who pushed the button. And who really took the time to actually make sure that each layer of the music is being heard and properly conveyed.
And layers should be your middle name. You and Teala should have the same middle name.
Singers.
Layers should be your middle. Goodness gracious, there's a lot of takes.
That's an album song.
Oh. Okay, there we go.
And that's another thing too. I'm glad that y'all are here together because, and I got another singer that we work with coming too next, Tanya. So one thing I think that we could have did better, and again it's hindsight, is we could bring people in because something Tub used to always tell me and Pell when we had Amanda.
Oh yeah.
He would tell us. You never just have one set of ears in there to hear it because you need some people. It takes some people to make these records sound the way that they sound.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think we could have did that better, but hindsight.
But it was good for me, and Tub feels that way because we come from always being a collaborative effort. Right. We come from the church. So in church, everything is together. You got the choir, you have the band, you have the directors, you have everybody, and everybody has a part to play when it comes to gospel music. Yeah. So nothing is ever alone because you need a collaborative effort of production and the MD and somebody to direct both the music and the voices. Right. Then you need to be able to sing with other people and listen to other people. So that's part of that, like choral upbringing that is, it's another part of who I am. So I grew up in church and that's all we had was choir and you had to listen to other people.
And so we saying some names now you talking that talk because some of these people that we talking about, they them guys.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
Those guys, boy.
Toledo has, we're rich. You know, we're very rich, we're very wealthy, and I appreciate the work that everyone did. You know, when they started, they got their start. A lot of them worked together, and then they moved and branched off. But it was always a family. It was always family. With the music here in Toledo, and now their kids are out, you know, producing and different things like that, and they have superseded anything that I could have ever imagined or envisioned. And I think also that has to do with the changing of the industry, in that independence has, you know, taken a front seat now, as opposed to artists who are developed and groomed. That, not that there's anything wrong with that, because that still is very, very important, especially with the sound and the presentation and things like that. But like Toledo is like industry. We produce more than glass. We produce greatness. In every way. And musically, we have a strong foundation of music and production, performance, and recording, and everything like that right here in town. So
it's crazy. I was just talking to your husband about that, about the way I feel like you and him always got your hand on the pulse. You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and that's important. You know what I mean? Because when I first came to Toledo, I was like, oh no, I ain't gonna make it. I ain't gonna make it here, because it just seemed like it was and it was all because I didn't know nobody. You know what I mean? But when I started meeting people, I think one time introduced me to Skip, to Imani, and then of course you came, and oh man, it's like it's just always been a blessing for me. And I speak highly of you. You know, I go everywhere. Yes, I speak highly of Toledo when it comes to the talent. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a lot of politics, and I haven't been silent about that. I'll bite my tongue about that, because I think that a lot of that about Toledo can be better with the politics. There's some talented people here, but sometimes you got to jump through hoops to kind of work with some of them, you know. So, but it's never been that with us. And
for me, it's either we are or we're not. You know, and there's no love lost or anything like that to anyone. Either you can work with somebody or you can't.
That's it.
But what I know, in spite of it all, I'm still gonna work.
Yeah.
So if I have to work by myself, then that's what it is.
You gotta work by yourself.
And that's what it, you know. But you know what I mean. But it's. I don't get into the politics of things, because there's always somebody who is willing. All you have to do is be willing to ask. You know, and my mama always say, you have not because you ask not. You know, so if you don't ask, then you will never know.
That's right.
So yeah,
I'm asking.
What you asking?
We don't collect.
Let's do it now.
Right.
You know, there's no time like the present.
This is gonna be, and I know you have a lot going on family wise right now, but like I said, me and you talked for a while the other day, and we can get around. If we can get around some of that to get some work done. Yeah, I know you traveling, you back and forth. I know it, but we definitely need to do something.
I agree. I'm willing. You know, and I think I kind of create music that's more like soundtrack kind of music. It's not popular, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being who I am and that kind of a sound. My purpose is my message. If I can't do my, sing my message, then I can't be me.
Right. And social media is created, to me, it's the gift and the curse, but it's created a space for just what you're talking about. Yeah. For to be yourself, where you can be yourself, you can have your own set of fans, and that's what I've been trying to get people. That's really what this podcast is about for me too. That's why I have a lot of people like that I'm doing interviews with, but I wanted to come get my family first. Yeah, family first, absolutely. Yeah, so we definitely are going to be doing some things. I always ask this question, in the music business, in the business of music, what works for Yasu? What works for you?
Me. Me working and trying to understand all of the aspects that I possibly can, asking questions and surrounding myself with people who can help me to achieve or accomplish whatever goal I have. So, whether it's advice about a certain microphone or a certain sound or something like that, I'm always asking questions. I'm always willing to learn. So, because if I don't work, nothing else is going to work for me. Nobody can, like my song said, be myself. If I can't myself do, then it won't be. So, I'm open and always willing to learn these, there's so many artists out there right now, like Fatila, and there's Anitra and Sasha, and the guys. There's Tony and Rob and Shan and Nate Hicks and his sister-in-law. There's so many people that I follow and support here in town, that even if I'm not out there actively performing and doing videos and shows and things like that, it never leaves me. But I'm always watching and encouraging and supporting and admiring what other people are doing and respecting them, knowing that my time is my time, my space is my space, my sound is my sound, and being comfortable and confident in that when it's time for me to go back out, I'll be ready to go. Another thing that is said is that your gift will make room for you. So as long as there's time on the clock and it won't run out, then I will be ready when that time comes for me to move. You know what I mean? But until then,
that's what I'm thinking while she's saying this.
But until then, I'm always prepared. I'm always writing, and I'm always creating, and I'm always drawing inspiration from my life and of what I see, what I live, what I do. Because right now I'm primarily a caregiver. I'm not even quote unquote out there as far as music is concerned, but I'm always creating. So like even the song you hear in the background, I had an idea. I wanted to promote my blackness and just celebrate who we are as a people, and celebrate and uplift men and women of color. So I created that song. I did another song that, because a lot of people don't know too, because people ask me all the time, do you still sing? Yes, absolutely. Funny. It's funny because they ask that because they don't see me. They ask that because I'm not out there like I used to be. Well, I'm not I'm not as young. I'm not as young as I used to be. These knees and joints and energy levels, melatonin, not the melatonin, but whatever it is that makes you move. Metabolism. See, look, memory gone, everything. Luckily, this hair wrap covers the gray hair on my head.
Hey, listen, let it flow, man. Let it flow. But, you deserve it.
Yeah, no, but I'm always singing, and I primarily sing at funerals, and that's like when you get the rawest of the raw with people. And when it comes to quote unquote an audience and reading the room, things that you don't think about possibly if you are a live performer and stuff like that, but actually like reading the room and being able to sing to at certain occasion, that's important. So I'm still singing, but one of the songs I wrote was Final Hour, just because of how many funerals I sing at. I can't. More than anything besides church services, I'm always singing at funerals. I don't get asked to sing at weddings. I don't get asked to, sing at the club or whatnot. But I'm okay with that because that's who I am.
Well, y'all look for my girl to. We want to start at the beginning. We ain't gonna have you singing for just the end. Goodness gracious! Hey, listen.
But it does be like that though. They get categorized in one area.
Your energy, man. I love your energy. Like the energy for me, like when you just come in the room, like it's energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's always my thing with you. Like, creating with you was like, I'm gonna say, don't take this wrong, Teala. but you know what? Because you know what I'm talking about. That energy with you is different.
Well, thank you.
It's different. So, man, I wish we had more time to talk. Shout out your social. Well, no, don't shout out your socials, because I always tell people to shout out their socials, but I don't know what you got going on.
Oh, I could Yasu.
Okay.
Follow me on Yasu on iTunes, and music is at Yasu, or you can go to yasuinc.com. And that's where I have my music is listed, some of the publications that I've done and what I'm working on. I am in the process of writing a book and doing a podcast about caregiving, though. And caregiving, though, like I said, so I was singing about the end and things like that, but it's just all a part of who I am. So everything that I am and everything that I do starts with the words on the page. So whether it's a poem, a tribute, a book, a passage, a foreword, or a chapter, or a song, it's just all comes from my heart and soul. It's just completely who I am.
Man, and I love who you are.
And I love who you all are.
Man, and we appreciate you for coming. And we definitely, I want to reboot the Imitation of Life, but we got some new stuff too that we.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
And we'll do it on your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yes,
sis.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready. And thank you so much for having me on the show. And, I just wish y'all much success and everything that you all are continuing to do. I see you out there smiling and doing and going and moving. Always. So I have mad respect for all of you. And I appreciate you all so much because, once again, I could not have been where I am, any kind of recording, anything, if it had not been for you all.
Thank you, man.
So that was the beginning. And that will be what continues to make me move forward. So thank y'all.
Appreciate you. Thank y'all for joining us. My name is Chalie Numbas. Thanks for joining us on the Phat Mechanics Chop Shop. We'll see y'all in the next one.